Welcome to Friday, October 16th, and we have not called this a roller coaster for nothing. Roller coaster ride for sure. You may notice that our backdrop is a little bit different today.
There's Ethan.
You see Ethan in the backdrop right there?
No, yep, stink eye.
There you go.
There you go.
Good
Hi,
job.
Ethan making an appearance.
So, Tuesday got through radiation. Wednesday got through radiation. And of course, I anticipated him sleeping those days off, and he did. We went to radiation Thursday morning.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah. So I had noticed it Wednesday night, and I made the doctors aware that
And some swelling on his right side.
And that swelling was significant. I made them aware of it, but it's just kind of like, well, we'll kind of wait and see, which a lot of this is. You don't want to assume the worst every time.
And a lot of times it resolves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So we go to radiation on Thursday morning. I noticed that his swelling is pretty significant. I'll show you my morning picture from Thursday morning, and you can notice that it's significant. So we called neurosurgery.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like before he had his bone back, that bulge. And so now he has his bone back, and he still had a sizable
bulge.
So they went to put his radiation mask on, and it wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
So they rushed him back across the street in the ambulance. Good thing he had the ambulance too. right back to the hospital for a CT scan.
Yep, and the CT scan, was basically showing a lot of fluid on the outside of his skull. So basically, additional bleeding. I've been calling this hemorrhaging, but not like a significant singular event, but a continuous, slow bleed of the tumor into the cavity, and that pressure built up, and then it seeped through the mesh that is holding the skull bone flap in place.
Yeah, so it's not sealed tight, so it's like weeping through prior surgeries that haven't healed completely.
Yeah. So
it's good that fluid had somewhere to go, because
Yes.
if it was locked inside, that would have been very dangerous.
Right.
So it's good that it was able to escape, but it needs to get under control.
Yeah. So the way that it went, we got a gathering of all the doctors about options. Of course, further resection and going back in was on the table. Steph and I aren't really in favor of that. We want to get back to radiation because we believe that is...
It's our best proactive approach.
Because we need to get the tumor under control, and radiation right now is our best bet to get it under control. And so that's the path that we chose. That's the path that we're on. So mitigate risk right now. We got moved back up to the pediatric intensive care unit.
We're in 33.
Yeah, back in 33. I saw the Falcon again last night. So anyway.
Yesterday afternoon, he has his the EVD, the special brain drain back in. They also put in the internal cranial pressure monitor. So that's all happened bedside, but still a significant procedure with sedation and everything else. Like, they don't let parents stay in the room for that kind of stuff. So to get the fluid out. So during the procedure, they took out 30 milliliters. Yeah. And since last night,
we're just under 250 milliliters. So I mean, it's a big bag of.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
And it's real. It looks like really dark blood, dark red.
Yeah, and it's a combination of like blood and cranial fluids. It's not just blood.
Yeah.
But it's dark because it's been there a while, so it's old blood making the fluid dark.
Yeah. So we are currently just having him drain for the weekend, and then
and his head looks much better. Like last night, when you pushed on it, it was like before when he didn't have his bone flap in, like it's just squishy, and that's how it was last night. Now when you push, you feel a skull again. So I feel like the majority of it has drained. There's still a little bit of swelling, and there's probably some fluid still inside, causing pressure that
Yeah.
might slowly leak out, but the majority of it, I think, has been taken out.
So our current plan is this weekend we're going to let that drain some more. We're going to get some imaging this either tonight or this weekend. We're hoping that it's tonight, and that's going to give us a clearer picture of where we are. And then we are really hoping to return to radiation on Monday because, as we said, that's our best bet for getting the tumor under control and to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, to stop this from happening again. I mean, this has happened several times. This same kind of occurrence is what led to putting the bone flap back in a couple weeks ago when we wanted to start radiation. And this is also kind of what happened during surgery. The first surgery that led to the emergency surgery and the stroke and the whole stent in ICU. So, this is kind of what his tumor does, and that's kind of why they call it an aggressive tumor. It's very unpredictable, and we've been calling it like an angry tumor. It gets mad and it reacts.
By bleeding.
Yeah, and this is also why we are against having another surgery and trying to take out any more of the tumor, because the tumor has shown this pattern of behavior, and so irritating it or doing anything super aggressive with it, we know that this is how it's going to react, and the complications from that are just not worth it.
No.
And so similar tumors have shown really positive effects from the radiation, as far as like radiation often can stop bleeding and things like this with the tumors, and so we're really hoping that
we can make some progress and build some momentum.
Yeah, that's what the radiation
oncologist
was saying yesterday. Like, we need to
get some momentum.
Yeah, get some positive momentum, get it under control. Yeah, be more in the driver's seat of being proactive about this rather than just constantly being reactive. And I think they're trying to be proactive, but just keep getting these curveballs that we have to respond to.
So if we start radiation on Monday, we're going to stay up here in the PICU because they know Ethan's tendency to be unpredictable. And so by being up here as we go to radiation, we will receive intensive care, being more proactive, knowing that Ethan isn't necessarily on the mend, but a high-risk patient that has tendency to hemorrhage, and we need to pay super close attention to the physical characteristics, not only of physical bulging, but noticing what's happening in your eyes, because your eyes, how they react, your pupils, what's happening is an indication of pressure on the inside.
Yeah. So I think it's good. I think we need to have at least a week of radiation under our belt. I mean, he lasted 2 days. Yeah. So keep him up here where he's closely monitored. It's just a whole different level of care being up here.
Right, and we're not trying to downplay the care that we receive down on the 7th floor, because they are fantastic, but they have more patients.
Yeah,
so they're divided. They're constantly here, there, and so they're just they don't have the ability to focus intensely on Ethan.
And the majority of the time when he's up here, it's 1-to-1.
Yeah.
So like right now, his nurse has the second patient, but I think of all the days that he's been up here, I mean, all but like 2 of them, he has been 1-to-1 with a nurse, and so it's comforting because every little thing gets noticed. Whereas downstairs, it's not for intensive patients; it's for patients that are more stable and can be in that environment. So I'm glad that we can be up here.
Yep.
I think that's a good call. I appreciate the doctors accommodating that and agreeing with that.
Yeah.
So we have more imaging today, which means more NPO, so that'll be fun. And we'll see if tomorrow we're on the same plan.
Day to day, people.
Yeah.
Day to day.
The plan for this afternoon is completely different than the plan
that was developed at 10:30.
Yeah.
And this is what?
Almost
1 o'clock?
So, yeah, we thought we had a plan for the weekend.
That changed.
And, they come in 2 hours later, and it's a complete 180. So, we're
that's how it
just
goes.
Along for the ride. Ethan's the driver.
Yep.
And that's that.
Yep. So, till next time.